Hello everybody, and welcome back to the range. Tom here, and today we're doing this 1969 Copo Corvette. We're going to be doing a mashup with this thing. Unfortunately, I don't have video footage of the other vehicle we're going to be doing, so why don't we head on down to the range and let's get started. I had this 69 Corvette just sitting around here, and you see the back half of the other vehicle I'm going to be using. It's a 2016 Ford race car. I know the Corvette's not the same one as my initial video portion of it. It's because I started cutting this one before I actually got the video footage of the before. And so, I just was like, you know what, screw it. I had another one, I'll use that one and go from there, because they're the same vehicles, they're just different paint schemes. And I was kind of thinking about this the other night before I actually started working on this vehicle, is I wanted to do a mashup, but I wanted to do a clean mashup. I wanted something to look good. I didn't want a pickup truck mashup or anything like that, other than my tow truck build that I did a while back. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Started rummaging through my cars that I had, and I had this 69 Copo Corvette, and I had the 2016 Ford Racer, and I was like, well, I wonder what it would look like together. So I just started doing some little doodles and stuff like that, just kind of seeing, doing some like eyeing of the vehicles, just to see how I'd be able to connect these two together. Yeah, I had to do a lot of cutting on the Corvette. I already knew what I wanted from the Ford Racer. As you see here, everything's kind of going according to plan. And honestly, it's going to end up looking like a really cool car. And I really can't wait for you guys to see the final results. I was really happy with this one. It went so good. Like, honestly, I had to find a way to make it have enough footage, because everything was going so well. And yeah, I did a lot of stuff off camera, like, sanding and cleaning up and stuff like that, because I haven't used JB Weld in a while. So I decided to do it on this one and actually just kind of see what would happen. And luckily enough, everything it lined up perfectly. Like, after I got done trimming and kind of filing down some areas, and just looking at it, it looks amazing together. Once everything was stripped down, I could actually get an idea of what it would look like as one solid color, whether it was the bare metal or whether anything like that. So I wanted to get what I could done to it before, I started really doing much of the paint. And unfortunately, my hose ended up getting chewed on by my pets for my airbrush compressor, so I ended up honestly spray painting this one because I wanted to get it done. And I swore I'd never spray paint another vehicle again, but I can't really do nothing without a hose for my airbrush. So I gotta wait till payday, which is in Wednesday, and today's Sunday, which is, I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. Those who know what it's about and kind of understand the real meaning of it, I appreciate everybody for that. Our veterans, past, present, and future, I appreciate everything that they're going to be doing or have done, along with myself as a fellow veteran. I wanted this build to be special, and I took my time. I literally was working on this body for like the entire day yesterday. I wanted it to look like seamless. Like, I wanted everything to go along, and you can't really tell it's two different cars. And luckily enough, I accomplished the mission I was setting out to do for that. I ended up, trimming up the bays, because I literally connected both interiors, both bases. I even integrated both the front and rear windscreens, and I really love how it turned out. And there are going to be glamour shots at the end of the video along with the final results. And I was really happy with the way this turned out, because, it's just something I've been wanting to do, and I've been trying to think of, like, what cars would look good together. And these two, I don't know what it was that made me pick these two. It's just like they look like they had the same height, the same width pretty much. I had to do a little bit of trimming here and there, but all in all, it worked out perfectly. The bases lined up. I had them trimmed up to the right. The interiors, I matched them up perfectly. And I was really happy with it. And, last night, Paul from Diecast Graveyard had a live chat. And I happened to throw this out there that I was doing this combo build. And, I sent a preview picture to my buddy Andrew at Maple Leaf Customs. I sent a picture to Paul at Diecast Graveyard. And the first thing Andrew was like, wow, is there going to be a video of that? And I'm like, yes, there is. And this is it. So, I know you see a lot of pieces just hanging around in the background. The interior to the Corvette's laying over to the right. The back half of the Corvette's laying up there. And I had this Pontiac Rageous that I was kind of working on. But I just kind of stopped halfway through it because I was like, I don't know what else I want to do with this thing. Because I was just going to do a normal paint job and wheel swap on it, but I just could not get it to the way I wanted it. So I just kind of put it on the back burner. And here I am mixing up the JB Weld because it's been a while since I've used JB Weld. And honestly, I'm glad I did it for this because it made the casting very solid. I was able to put some self-tapping screws in it, screwed it together, mounted it to the base, and I just have to brag about this one because this one turned out so amazing that I have to. I got the tape on it because I had it glued to certain parts of it, and I wanted it to hold together while I was mixing up the JB Weld before I actually ended up doing it. And luckily enough, the areas where I wanted it to secure nicely, it did. So I was very happy about that. And I do a lot of every now and then I'll do a good mashup build, but this one was just kind of I'd never done a car that I can remember other than that Volkswagen Bug but see, that one wasn't really technically a mashup. I just added pieces to it. This is a mashup because I took half of a 69 Corvette and half of the 2016 Ford Racer, and I literally molded them together. And this would be the coolest car to see out on the road if it was a actual live vehicle. And I hope y'all really like what I did to this thing. The paint job, I made it a solid, metallic blue color. I ran out of clear coat, so I had to go out and buy some before I could finish it. And, the way it just, because after I put one layer of the JB Weld over it, I let it dry, I sanded it all down, smoothed it out, went over it with another layer to get it smoothed out, and then I took some the Bondo stuff and put it over it just to kind of smooth it out some more, fill in the holes and all that stuff, and just kind of fill in little divots and a little bit of overlaps or whatever it had to do. And luckily enough, just doing that, it made it a lot easier to paint over because you can't tell it's two different cars because of how well I can say that I mashed them up. I had them lined up a certain way. I had them doing what I wanted it to be done at first. And, at this time, I'm just trying to figure out how I was going to paint it because I wanted to get it done before my premiere of the Four Horsemen build, which it's already out. It's already on YouTube. It just hasn't premiered yet. And technically, this would be my 110 video, and the Four Horsemen build would be 111. But I can always edit that later. I wanted to get the Four Horsemen build up there so I can go ahead and make some room for other builds, because I have this 44 dragster that I'm in the process of working on right now. But unfortunately, when I went to clear coat it, I had e-spray paint on that too, and unfortunately I didn't want to. But when I went to clear coat it, started cracking and stuff, so I had to throw it back in the stripper. But I'm keeping the video footage from that. I already got the rest of it done. I just got to redo the body of it and stuff like that. And all in all, it'll turn out great. It'll look amazing. I can't wait for y'all to see that one once I get it done. Because I'm not going to finish that one until I get my airbrush stuff going through. But you see that I'm sanding everything down. I'm trying to get all the little pieces of, Bondo and stuff like that. And JB Weld just sitting out there. I had to get all of that off, to make it actually smooth. So I sanded it down. You see here that it's blended pretty good. I got one side already done up. So I'm doing the other, trying to make it to where it kind of curves upward. And that's what I love about JB Weld, because, it pretty much, when it's solid and it's hard, it's solid and it won't budge. And the whole time I was worried that it was going to come apart on me, but never budged an inch. So I was really happy with the hold that it had on each other, the way it just kind of made this car look amazing. And I love how it looks. Even without paint, it still looked amazing. The whole time I'm doing this video, I'm like, wow, this is such a cool combo. And, there's really not much to doing it. Just making sure you cut in the right spot. If you got to file down, you can file down in certain areas if you have to. And you can go from there. But, take your time, when you're doing the cutting. If you want to do the cutting just right, take your time. Because you want everything to line up. Even if you have to do like little hint measurements here and there to, get the sides level and stuff like that. And here I am using the Bondo filler to kind of fill in the little bumps and stuff like that. I had to do this twice, which is not a big deal. But all in all, I do it as many times as I've had to do it just to get it just right. And that's one thing about me. I'm very particular about my builds. I'm a very kind of an OCD kind of guy when it comes to the builds. If it don't look right, I'll redo it. And here it is with the metallic blue I was telling you about. And honestly, I love how it turned out. You can't really tell that it's two different cars, and that was the best part about it. I'm doing the little detailing on the tail lights. I did some detailing, with some little marker lights, little chrome additions here and there, just to add a little detail to it instead of just being one color. No, there are no decals on this. I did not want to have any decals because my look, it would have ruined the idea of the car. And if I decide to put decals on it, I can do it later on. But I'm not planning on doing that. The body turned out great. When I went to do the interior, I did the interior in a different color blue. And, you see that, I'm just making sure. And like I said, this metallic blue just turned out amazing. The details, how it looks, it looks like something I would love to see on the road. And, I didn't even really paint the entire interior, just certain parts, because I took my black paint marker to do the actual, black parts that I was going to get done with that. Kind of used it with my paintbrush, touching up here and there, because in some areas you couldn't get the paintbrush or paint marker. So I just put some on a piece of paper and just dabbed my paintbrush in it and just tidied up because I'm out of black of the model paint, so I'm gonna have to get me some more of that. I detailed not just the interior portion of it, but it's got this little rear engine sitting in the back, so I thought I'd just kind of detail that up as well after I got done with the interior. I did the wing up because, like I said, I used both interiors from both cars, lined them up perfectly to get them to where they would fit in the body, they would fit the base. And even with the windscreens in it, they fit. So, just being able to do that and come up with such an amazing build, I couldn't help but to actually be amazed by this build. And I was really happy with this build. Even the interior came out perfect. Didn't really have to worry about any kind of exterior additional detailing after I got done with the black, and I just took some metallic silver and chromed up the engine a little bit, because I wanted it a simple paint job, And luckily enough, it turned out like it turned out amazing. Even though you can barely see the engine in the back windscreen, you can still see it. And I wanted it to stand out a little bit. I wanted it to be where I don't know, it'd be good enough to see. I did use my chrome pin, like really fine tip chrome pin, and I was just kind of did like on the shifter, just kind of put a little bit of piece of chrome on there. But all in all, the interior turned out great. I was really happy with it. Got it clear coated. This is what we started off with, the 69 Copo Corvette. And honestly, I don't even know what Copo stands for, but honestly, I don't mind. It was a good casting. I'm a Corvette guy. I love the old Corvettes. I've been told that this build looked like a Batmobile of some sorts. But why don't we check it to the final results and you can decide from there. And I'll see you next time at the range.